Sometimes you want to, you sort of palpate for the external structures that are right on top of that, because we want to know exactly where it branches. But other than that, that's all that is.
Carina, you said?
Carina,
okay.
yeah. The bronchi are going to be the tubes. After we branch, it's no longer called trachea, even though really it looks just about the same. So as soon as we branch, we call these first branches the primary bronchi. You're going to branch again to take then the air out to each of the lobes of the lungs. Those are called the secondary bronchi. You have more on the left than more on the right than on the left, because you have more lobes on the right than on the left. And then all these different pretty colored pieces, these guys are going to be the tertiary bronchi. Now from there, it keeps branching and branching and branching. We're missing the models that move to the next level. So that means that we can eliminate bronchioles, terminal bronchioles, respiratory bronchioles, alveoli, alveolar sacs.
Isn't that the most important part of the respiratory system?
Yes, it is. There's actually really cool models, and I could describe them to you and crappily draw them. But that's what we have to do. We have, in essence, the visceral pleura, because that would be what's attached to the lungs, the outermost layer. We don't have one that really shows parietal, so we can get rid of that. The pleural cavity, we don't really have one that shows that. We do have one, at least, that shows the left and the right lung. And then in the lung, the lung model, we can see the apex versus the base, and thank goodness now the base is the bottom and the apex is at the top, which makes sense. So the apex is still the pointy part, but it's at the top. We have the costal surface versus the mediastinal surface. The costal surface would be these exposed portions in here, and you can even see that sort of have the indentations of the ribs, costal meaning rib. And then the mediastinal surface would be this inside surface that sits next to the heart. Okay? Get back together. Then we have, our helium. Got to take this whole thing apart. This is a good example of a helium. It's the notch where all the major vessels, including the blood vessels, but also the bronchi, penetrate into the lungs. So it's this little notch, and when we looked at our cat, you actually could see the helium, so we'll be able to go back next week and look at it again. And then we get to naming our lobes. We have superior, I'm just going to leave the heart out for a minute, superior, middle, and inferior lobes. All three are present on the right lung, so it's pretty easy. Superior, middle, and then inferior kind of off to the side. On the left lung, you only have two lobes because we have this cardiac notch here for the heart. So we have superior, and then it switches over to inferior. So the one that's missing on the left lung is the middle. We then have the oblique fissure, which are these down here, and then the horizontal fissure, which goes more just sort of right across. And then finally the cardiac notch here. And that's it.
Nice.